It's all rhythm, and rhythm's quite a universal language.
Dancing because my mum had a dancing school in south of England, and the studio was underneath my bedroom, and I could hear my mum teaching downstairs, and I used to go to sleep with the rhythms of tap dancing coming from underneath me from the studio. That was my bedtime story.
I started to tap dance when I was about 8 years old. This came about because my dad ran a dance school. When he first started running the school, I wasn't that interested, but I seem to remember my sister was going, she couldn't quite do the steps, and I somehow knew how to do them, so I decided I'd show her how, and the following week I was dragged along to school, and that's where it started.
I started tap dancing when I was about 8 years old. It's a pretty standard tap dancer story. I saw Singing in the Rain, age 8, and yeah, that was pretty much the best thing I've ever seen. And back then I decided I wanted to be Debbie Reynolds when I grew up.
Started off as a drum kit player and then did a degree in classical music, which is all very relevant still, I feel, to what I'm doing. But then since then, more interestingly, I kind of took a few journeys around the world. Studied in Cuba for 5 months. I spent some time in Istanbul in Turkey, and also a couple of times I went to Morocco, and I studied Indian music with a guy in London on the tabla.
I started juggling whilst being a student in my teenage years, and then really got into the performance side and the performance aspect of juggling, and went to circus school and trained professionally. I did a degree in London at the only circus school that offers that facility, and throughout that I started to kind of really integrate music and rhythm into juggling. And that's when I really discovered that there was something missing, so I wanted to go back and retrain tap again, but I wanted to really get to the roots of tap and the rhythm of tap and bring that into the juggling that I was doing and make those two things one combined unit, and that's where we are, that's why juggling and tap exists. I got a lucky break and ended up on a cruise ship in a percussion show that was a sort of, you know, a little bit like Stomp. We were playing percussion on oil drums, that kind of thing. And on board that ship there were some real musicians.
We were working on a cruise ship in the Caribbean. We got thrust together through no choice of our own, and obviously we were living in a shared cabin together, and we were on the same contract.
We got thrown in at the deep end. We had to present and perform a little 5-minute sort of piece that was going to be performed on the cruise. So we decided to just blend our skills. Started as a 2-piece with me and Magnus, and then it became a 3-piece with a flute player. It's now a 5-piece. We've got some great tap dancers in this now, and so that's how that project started, and it's ever evolving.
I got involved with juggling on tap through a jam actually in London. I met Stewart and he said to me, hey, why don't you come and work with us, it'll be fun. I was already teaching Marie at the time, so we rocked up and we met the musicians, and then we literally did our first day about 12 hours worth of rehearsals.
So far for me it's just been, you know, you just practice by yourself or you go to class, but to actually have the opportunity to be with other people who love doing the same thing as you, and to be with musicians and to just, yeah, go for it, you know, be in the same space for a few hours and try and get things done.
As a musician and a drummer, it's important to have some kind of relationship with dancers, and tap dancers in particular, because there's obviously a really obvious percussive rhythmic element involved.
Marie swings like hell. I like doing the choreography part of it. Stewart, juggling and tap at the same time. I mean, I've never seen it before. I think it's cool. I think the three of us working together is a really awesome group.
I've been waitressing for the last couple of years and just working hardcore for a few months and then saving up and then spending it all in classes, which is not really a sacrifice as such, because when you love doing something it doesn't feel like sacrificing.
As a boy growing up in the north of England, being a tap dancer was not the coolest thing you could do. You know, there was a little bit of bullying involved, I suppose you could say, but I mean, after a while, you know, once people realised that it was serious and it was something that I was doing and that was my thing and my hobby, people kind of realised that actually it was alright, it was pretty cool, and it was about the rhythm, and I wasn't, you know, I wasn't wearing tutus, I was just doing tap, and that's what I love to do.
I wouldn't say I've made sacrifices, I'd say I've made choices in life. Choices to move away from my family and friends, going to Australia, spending time out of the country studying, spending money on studying as well.
And whilst it's always nice to get paid for what you do, as a musician it's nice to be involved with people that are doing what they're doing just because they love it.
Going to New York was the first step. New York is the Mecca of tap, so you have to go there as a tapper at one point or another. It's a bit hard at first, you know. You come from Europe, you think you're right at tap, and then you get to New York and you think, maybe I should just give up.
So I went over to Australia and stayed with Grant for a year. He really took me under his wing and basically taught me everything that he could give. He really made me appreciate what tap was and to live life as a tap dancer.
The person that I utterly admire the most, and is the reason why I was a tap dancer, it has to be my dad. In the 50s, there was a lot of women used to work in the factories, and they used to walk down that street every morning wearing clogs. And the rhythm of the clogs used to wake up my dad every morning, and he used to just hear that. It was ingrained in him.
Probably would be my mum, first of all. Grant Swift, because he did a year of training with me and was just so supportive. Then the guys in America, I mean, Michelle Dorrance, Chloe Arnold, Jason Samuel Smith, Dormisha, Derek K. Grant.
There's a lot of people I've admired, and I don't want to start dropping names, but there's always people that you feel that their style, their tap style corresponds to you more.
I really want to bring a community of tap in London. Like, I want to make it work. I want to put London on the tap map and get people dancing all over the place, jams all the time, classes, you know. We don't have enough of that. London's a great city and we need more of it. We need a jam every single night like they do in the States. I teach at the Shim Sham Tap Jam. I've got a beginner's class and then an advanced class. My advanced class is amazing. I love it. I love teaching it. And those guys, they're awesome in there. I've had them for like 5 months, something like that. And I can see them all really developing. I just drill them. I work with Simeon Weedle from Stomp. I work with Lee Payne. I obviously work with Juggling on tap. I'm in the Olympics right now. I work with a beatboxer. I do as much as I can do. I've always got a rucksack, tap mat, tap shoes, and whenever there's an opportunity, I'm ready for it. I guess tap is just my life. It's all I want to do. It makes me happy. If I'm ever sad, I literally would just put my tap shoes on and get in a studio and jam.
I just love it. I think it all stems from, you know, seeing that Singing in the Rain when I was young and just completely falling in love with this whole world.
We watched Singing in the Rain forever and we loved it. We tried to recreate some of those routines as a family, you know, that's what we did.
It's dancing and making music at the same time, and I don't think there's anything better or more fun to do.